Okay guys, so one thing I wanted to mention, and I've seen a couple videos on YouTube of people denouncing this method of using food grade 2 liters for food storage. They said when they went to eat their food, whatever they had in theirs stored, it tasted like plastic. Well, I recently, about a couple weeks ago, I made my first batch of soup out of this, and no issues of plastic whatsoever. So I don't know what those people were putting in their containers, but I think they could have been just hyping stuff up. It's perfectly fine, no plastic taste whatsoever when I went and had my meal, and I'm using very little of the food in this container. As you can tell from how much I use. I don't make giant batches of soup unless I'm cooking for more than me, right? So this will last me friggin' probably a year unless I go crazy on a soup binge or something. So just wanted to put that out there, guys. So this method works perfectly fine. I fill this container. I have a bunch of these actually. Some filled with pasta, some filled with rice, all the way to the tops, leaving no air inside. They're stored in a cool, dry place in my pantry, and they work out really well. So if you can get your hands on some of these dollar store giant 2-liter bottles, 2.5 liter bottles, that's the best bang for your buck. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Another prepping video here for YouTube land. This is one of my creations. I took a large 2.5 liter food grade plastic soda bottle, and I turned it into long-term storage. So in here is a variety of beans, legumes, barley, rice, a handful of different type of beans, and mixed all in there. And you can see it's a little low because what I did recently was I tapped in and started rotating my food. Even though this stuff is pretty much good for 25 years, I started eating it. So winter months are here, coldness, you gotta have a nice and warm soup, warm meal. This stuff's good for chilies, but I use it for soup. And like I said, you can see I got a little bit missing because this was full all the way to the top. And I'm going to show you how to prepare this stuff if you want to follow the way I store my food. Okay guys, so what I want to do is I want to make a small batch of this soup up. So I'm going to take my bottle here, and I'm just going to pour in a decent amount of the food, and I think that's plenty. Mostly beans on that pour, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna also add my DIY. This is August 22nd 2017 is when I put this in my own DIY Mylar baggies, and I'm just rotating through some of the food, and I'm going to pour barley into this. Now they have a nice little tear in the Mylar right at the top here, so you can just peel without any tools. And I also, inside I put little Mylar pack of seasoning, which I won't be using in this particular soup, but I'll save that for another time. There's the barley. We're going to toss that in there. And what I want to do now, give it a good shake, and then I'm going to add some filtered water to this. So hold on one second, and I'll show you the trick that I do. So I got the filtered water in there. Now you see the water's already getting a little scummy. I want to show you this trick as well. Adjust the camera a little bit. I'm going to go get a knife, a butter knife, And what you want to do, guys, is take your butter knife and just stir the food up inside the water. And what that does is it kind of gives it a nice wash, gets rid of some starches, some debris, dust, whatever goes on in the food processing business. So you're just going to clean off the food this way. So now that's been done, I'm going to drain this water off in the sink carefully, leaving the food in there, and then add a fresh batch of water and let it sit for 24 hours. Because anybody who knows cooking with beans and stuff, especially dry beans, you have to let it soak for about a day before you go ahead and make your soup. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We actually got our first little snowflakes today, and it's November 1st, 2020. So, yeah. I'm going to drain this off, and then I'll show you the refill. Alrighty, guys, so we're back. Fresh water put in there. Now, you want to put a decent amount in above the food, because over the period of time, the food's going to absorb some of the water, and then obviously the level of the water is going to go down. So there's that. So I'm going to leave this sitting for 24 hours or so now. Now, another thing you can do, guys, but I don't really do, you can add some seasoning into this water now, and then when the food absorbs some of the water, it'll bring in some of that flavor from the spice as well. So if you want to add some turmeric in there, but I'm going to add all that stuff later when I make the soup, so stay tuned for that.